signing bonus was $1,900. Jim Brown never made more than $45,000. So that's how it was in the day, man. We played for the pride of the game. We played to be a professional. We didn't play for the money because we didn't play for the money because there wasn't any. So we played for the camaraderie, the spirit of the game, which is totally lost today. The camaraderie and the spirit is lost. These guys talking about money. You're as good as your agent can negotiate for you. That's how they judge you on your talent. How much money you make. I'm happy these guys could make our team back in the day. That's another story. So when I stopped playing football with full-time as an architect, sitting behind a desk at 9 to 5 in an hour, just did not suit my personality. So one night I was watching television and I saw Julia's show. Dan Carroll had her first, she was the first black woman to ever on a television series. And I noticed that each week the guest star role was a new boyfriend. So I said to myself, I'm better looking than any of those guys. I'm going to Hollywood to become Dan Carroll's boyfriend. So I got the guy's name, the producer's name off of the show. His name was Hal Cantor. So I drove out, I was living in San Francisco at the time. I drove all the way to Hollywood, drove up to the 20th Century Fox gate. And I said, I'm here to see Mr. Hal Cantor. Do you have a driver? I said, no, I have a driver. Well, you can't come on the line. I said, okay, fine. I drove around the corner, went to the phone booth, made a phone call. Says, this is Mr. Hal Cantor's office, respecting Mr. Williamson. Would you let him in, please? Drove back around to the gate. Oh, yeah, we just got a call on you. So I drove in, had a conversation with him for a while. He says, we talked football for a few minutes because football allowed the door open for me. He said, why are you here? I said, I'm here. I'm watching your show, man, and I'm seeing that each week you got a new boyfriend dating Dan Carroll. That means she's a slut. I said, I'm your man. You need a regular boyfriend, and I'm it. He said, well, we've been thinking about that. He said, you ever had acting experience before? I said, 5 years of Carmen Jones and 5 years of Raising the Sun in Canada. I took him to Canada because I know he didn't know crap about Canada. I'd have said New York, he'd have been asking me all kinds of stupid questions about what company I work for and all that kind of business. So he said, okay, we'll write a script for you and see how it does. It was called Dancer in the Dark. We meet, we fall in love. So I had a 3-year run as Dan Carroll's working on the Julia show. My first movie was MASH. Played Spiritual Jones. Second movie was Tell Me You Love Me, Julie Moon, Otto Preminger. Because Ingo Preminger produced MASH, and he took me to meet his brother, who was looking for a black, dark-skinned type. Couldn't find one that had the muscles. So he says, try to hammer out. So I go there, and we break up the party. I don't even know who was coming. So now Otto was a very intimidating guy. He's got the bald head, he's got his head down like this, and he's talking to me. He said, okay, you read. And I don't think you're so good because football players, when they finish, they can't do nothing. That didn't work. I took the script and tore it in half, threw it up in the sky. I said, I don't need this job anyway, I don't need you. He says, okay, good, you leave. Before I left, grabbed him by the collar, by the throat like this, and I lifted him up about 9 feet. Set him back down very quietly. Went to his wife and said, I'm very sorry for disturbing your party. I get home, there's 25 telephone calls. Fred, come back, I want to talk to you. That's how I got the party. Because I didn't really want it. I wasn't going to take his insult. So, why don't you put that down? No, it's not. It's you making that.
You gotta talk up closer to that mic. That's why I'm getting a ring.
Who are you anyway? Okay. Any questions? I'm ready now.
Yeah. Thank you. The whole thing about black exploitation films, which you became the king of, with one of the biggest male stars in the 70s, but the term blaxploitation. What is your personal opinion?
Well, first of all, when I was making those movies, I didn't even know I was doing a black exploitation movie. I was just doing a Fred Williamson win the battle and adhere by my 3 rules. You can't kill me in a movie. I can win all my fights in the movie, and I get the girl at the end of the movie. If I won. And I know they weren't going to give me that privilege, so I started making my own movies. But black exploitation was created by the white press because of the fact that my movies cost like $1 million to make, and they were drawing lines around the people. They were around a lot. They were making profits like 25 or 30 million. Across the street from me on 86th Street was a movie that came out of Hollywood for 70 million and nobody was there. It was an empty theater. So they got turned off by the fact that my movies were making more money than theirs and we were taking money away from their profits. And so they stopped producing the films. It was like a 4-year run, that was it. But they created the terminology. The press created this terminology to destroy that film genre. And they did. Except that by the time they destroyed it, I was already making my own. I was producing my own, directing my own, because I knew in order to be a success in anything in life, you have to take charge of what you do. And that's what I did. So 90% of the movies I make now are produced and directed and written by me. So I don't really need Hollywood.
I'd like to ask you a question about one of the famous early black wrestlers, Digger Charlie. I remember in Times Square, there was a huge billboard, which you know the story, of course, and it said he's coming. Can you relate that story to everyone?
Yeah, that was my plan. My plan was to create and capitalize on controversy. So I went to Paramount and I said, I want to do a Western movie. Never had a black Western hero before. I said, I'll make the movie for $500,000. He said, you can't make a movie for $500,000. Give me $500,000, I'll show you. I said, okay, I'll test you. What do you want to call it? I want to call it The Legend of Nigger Charlie. He fell on the floor, which was, I know he was going to do. He said, okay, go make it. So I put the billboard up. It said, Nigger Charlie is coming. No picture. Just, Nigger Charlie is coming. 2 weeks later, we changed the billboard. Nigger Charlie has arrived. If me standing there with my shirt off and 2 guns on my side with my arms folded, Nigger Charlie has arrived. I put all the theaters on the bottom of the poster as where the film was playing. We lined around the block for days. We made about 75 million on the film. Film cost less than $1 million. We did a sequel to it called The Soul of Nigger Charlie. Because I knew, you know why? Because all those films that we were making in the 70s, the white audiences want to see them, but they were embarrassed to go sit in a theater where all the black people are talking to the screen. They're yelling and talking, yeah, Hammer, look out! They were intimidated. But if you go to the theater back in that day at lunchtime, you see nothing but white guys with their essay cases sneaking out at lunch to go see these movies when nobody else was there. So I knew I had a double audience, it was going to work. And then my last one was Boss Nigga, which was a satire on the first 2 films. So it's a little comedy, it was me and my buddy Doville Martin. We took over a town, and I took over the town as a sheriff, and every time somebody used the word, we locked them up in jail and fined them $7. It was a satire, so that one was pretty good. I mean, they're all good, I don't do bad stuff. So I'm just having fun in my life, doing the things that I want to do and enjoying what I do.
And then working in Italy with all the great Italian directors and some not so great Italian directors, and huge career resurgence. Not that it went anywhere down, but
Make up your mind.
your career just blew up again as a star of sci-fi futuristic films.
No, it didn't blow up. I moved to Italy. I've been living in Italy for the past 20 years. So I lived in 6 months in Rome, Italy, and another 6 months in Palm Springs. I have an ongoing character like Dirty Harry in Italy called Black Cobra. So I made about 10 Black Cobras. So my career has moved to the foreign market where I'm more relaxed, I have a lot more fun, I get a lot more respect, and that's really what it's all about, just getting respect. It's not about money. I mean, I'm not about money now. I can come to these things and you guys take care of my bills pretty good. I do it for fun, only because I do what I like. I'm not into doing movies for the sake of movies. I sell a brand. I'm like Eastwood and Bronson, put a little martial arts every now and then. So I sell a brand, and that's what works for me. Even if I only work 1 day a year, and I come on the screen, my fan is going to say, uh-oh. That's all they're going to say, uh-oh. When I walk on, I'm selling a brand. I may not beat up anybody, but I have the image that I have the possibility and the capability of doing that. And that's what makes my career work.
Yes, please. She has a question.
I'm really glad you brought up his westerns because I absolutely adore westerns. Can you talk about working on Take a Hard Ride?
Working on Take a Hard Ride.
Yes, please.
Working on Taking a Hard Ride, we starred me and Jim Brown and Lee Van Cleef. You put me and Jim Brown in a movie and you never know what's going to happen. We have the same egos. We challenge each other physically. We had a big fight in the movie. Fight was real, it was good. We made it up as we went. We were wrestling, tussling, throwing each other down. Nobody wanted to fight because we stopped fighting when the bad guys rode up on top of the hill. But the great thing about it, we shot in Spain. We shot in Tenerife, Lanzarote. So we had a good experience outside the country, and we sort of cemented our relationship. So it was a good experience.
Thank God for Me TV. I recently saw you on an episode of The Love Boat. We should talk about that.
Yeah, but check it out. I sold my brand, dude. Okay? I was a fighter.
Yep.
I was a boxer. I won the fight. So my brand, my brand will never change, dude. They asked me to do certain. I'm doing one now. I just finished doing an episode on being Mary Jane. Okay, and it's a 3-episode because what I do, I come in and I break up the marriage between the lead people on the series because she's an old girlfriend. Now they even thicken the plot even more that their kid, 19-year-old kid, is my son and not the son of who happens to be Richard Roundtree in this series, right? So I don't know where they're going with it, but they just called me the other day and says, "Come back, we have to finish this because we left it hanging in the air." So I got to go back next week and finish it. So they're using my image. If I'm walking into a scene, it's either to kick somebody's butt or to do something bad. That's a good image, I can spit on the sidewalk and they'll say, "Oh, that hammer, look at him, man." And the good guy spit on the sidewalk, I go, "Oh, that dude spit on the sidewalk." If I do it, they go, "Oh, the hammer's just doing his thing, man." It's good to have a negative image that works. Yeah.
When you were doing MASH, I guess that was one of your first movies, MASH?
Yeah.
How was it working with those? You had Elliot Gould, you had Sutherland, Sally Crowley. If that was your first movie, how did that help you decide or think, I think I want to keep doing it?
No, I'd already did 3 years of Julia on the show. We shot it at 20th Century Fox. So one day I'm sitting in the commissary, a guy walks by and he says, "You're the hammer, right?" I says, "Yeah." So I'm doing football, I'm doing a movie, I got a football scene in it. I don't know anything about football. Would you put all the football stuff together, hire all the players, and direct all the football scenes? And that was the movie MASH, and the guy was all wrong. Producer was Ingo Printer, which I said later took me to his brother Otto. So that was my first experience, That was my really first directing job, that I directed all the football scenes, because I know those out-of-shape actors couldn't hit and block, right? So I brought in a full semi-pro team, plus I brought in some pros. I had Ben Davidson in it, I had Supernat in it. I put some pros in so we could get some real hitting in it, and it worked out well. Yes, ma'am.
What was it like working with Tarantino?
What is working like with Tarantino? Well, when the check cleared, it was wonderful. Until then, it was questionable. But I have to give him his props. You know why? Because he wanted me in the movie, but he didn't know how to put me in the movie. He says, "Take the script home, read it, put yourself in the movie, and come back and tell me how you want to do that." So I did. I went home and I read it, and I said, it's kind of a stupid movie, but I know how I can fit. When Juliette Lewis, we were in a titty twister bar. The bats are beating against the wall, bam, boom, boom, and she says, "I can't take it anymore." Here's my opening, right? Leaning against the wall, strike a cigar, and I say, "Sure you can." I know my fans are gonna say, "All right, the Hammer's getting ready to kick some butt, man." So that was my entrance into the movie. You have to make an entrance, you just can't come into it, You gotta make an entrance, and that was my entrance. Yeah.
You were in one of my favorite movies, favorite action movies, Three the Hard Way.
Yeah.
You, Jim Brown, and Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
So what was it like? Did it look like it was fun making? How was that experience?
It was a great experience for 3 of us that Jim Kelly couldn't act. But he was a good guy. I mean, Jim Kelly was a very serious martial artist. If you said hello to Jim Kelly and say, hey man, what's doing? How you doing? He would say, it's a very good. I think it's going to be better later. What? That's how Bruce Lee used to talk. So he was kind of into the spiritual, really heavy into the spiritual. So when they came to us, the movie was very successful. So then they came to us and let's do a sequel. Jim and I said, we don't want to work with him anymore. The guy can't act. He's bringing us down, you know? And they said, okay, what we have in mind is a Western, Take a Hard Ride. And we'll cut Jim Kelly's tongue out. Make him a half-breed Indian. Who can't talk. We said, we're there. That's all Jim Kelly did was jump off the hills, jump on the mountain. He had a couple of fights doing Indian kicking and all of that stuff, so it was good for him. He liked it, but there's no way we're going to work with him again as an actor. But we love him. Yes.
I was working on Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds was my first introduction into Italian filmmaking. And ever since then, I've been living in Rome. They're more relaxed. They're making films there. They're more respectful. The difference in America, I'm a black actor. In Europe, I'm an action star. That's a little more respect for all the things that I've done and all the things that I've achieved. That's a little different kind of respect. So I've been there since we made that movie in 1976. And I've been living there ever since. I have a condominium, top of the Spanish Stairs, if you know Rome, on Via Sistina, next to the Hotel Pasta. Oh yeah. What?
The shopping in Rome.
Oh hell yes. Best eating in Rome? Best, no. Yeah. Okay, what else?
Take one more question. Anyone? Yes, sir.
What was your favorite movie you made, or the most fun you had making a movie?
My most favorite movie is every movie that I've ever done because I only do what I like. I don't do anything that I like. I told you, I have 3 rules that Hollywood have to adhere to. Otherwise, I'm in the industry. You can't kill me. I have to win my fights. And I get the girl at the end of the movie. So you got to do 2 out of 3. And I know they're not going to give me the girl. But in my movies that I'm producing and directing, I get the girl. So I don't do things I don't like, man, because it's not about money. I mean, when the money is gone and you're looking in the mirror, you don't like yourself. You got nothing left. If you sell your pride and sell your image, you got nothing left.
Thank you
We
so
got more.
much.
It's getting going. It's going good. You got one? You raise your arm and you
Is there
scratching?
one more?
You just scratching?
Yeah.
Raise up your arm and scratch. Okay, one more.
One more question.
2 more. 2
Two
more.
more. You, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir, it's an honor to be in the movement. I see a lot of your movies and all that. You mentioned football earlier.
Yeah.
How different is it today compared to when you were playing? You mentioned about the camaraderie back then and nowadays you're playing for the money.
Back in the day, we would have paid to play on the team. We would have paid to sit on a bench and have famous players know your name. Johnny Unitas, guys like that, you know? Say, hey, Hammer, John Brody, R.C. Owens, people that you don't even remember, you know, Hugh McElhaney, all these greats, man. You're sitting right beside them and they know who you are. That, you can't buy that, okay? I'm sitting on the bench and I'm not really making any money. After practice, I run to the phone calling my buddies back in Chicago, where I'm from. I said, man, guess where I am? I'm at 49. No, man, you cross the street. No, I'm telling you, man. I'm here. I'm on the bench. I know these guys, man. No, they don't know you, man. Come on. You know, that was the thing. I would have paid money to be in that position. These guys all think that they're privileged people because they are athletes. And that's part of the problem. One more dog. I saw you over there.
Yes, sir.
What was your favorite experience working with Larry Cohen?
My experience working with Larry Cohen is that he thinks like I do. You just have something to shoot him on the street, don't ask anybody. Just go do it. Just run down the street and do it. But he had the privilege of having me there because as a football player, ex-athlete, you get a lot of perks, you know. We'd be running down the street shooting, a cop, you can't do it today, but back in the day, the cop would come over and say, you guys remember the movie? I said, yeah. He said, well, how long you gonna be? I said, you're in my shot now, just get out. He said, we're gonna run around, we're gonna ride around for about 20 minutes. We come back and you better be gone. Only because I had the respect as a jock. Jock gets a lot of respect, a lot of perks back in the day. So he needed me to do all the stuff we did because we had no permits. We did not have any permits. Running down the street with a taxi cab, shooting guns. We had no permits. They'd always say, where's the permit? They could point to me, he's got it. Can't do that today, but we got away with it in Black Season, we got away with it in Hell Up in Harlem. So he was lucky to have me there, otherwise we'd all been in jail.
I have a final question. How do you feel when people come up to you at events like this and they say they appreciate your work? How do you feel like working so hard all these years to become what you are?
Yeah, well, you can't accept that all the time and let it, because then if you do that, then you gotta deal with the ones that come up and say, I don't like you, man. I ain't moving your head with a piece of crap, you know? So you gotta like take each one in the same level. Yeah, okay, good, thank you for telling me that. Yeah, okay, thank you for telling me that. You can't go one way because you get, you know, your emotions get up and down and you start digging people who only say positive things because you know most of them are lying anyway. But it doesn't really matter. As long as they have the strength and the courage to come up and say whatever it is they have to say, that means they've seen the movie. By then it's too late to give me back the money.
Thank you so much.